Hello, y'all on YouTube. This is Rob from Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today I have a very cool review impressions for you of a knife that I was able to get that I have very much enjoyed. This is the new Wee Knives Makani, and really neat knife. And I don't know if you can see that, but this is fire anodized titanium backspacer and a fire anodized titanium deep pocket carry clip and a pivot collar, fire anodized pivot collar. Really beautiful knife. This is one of their limited editions, so it has a certificate of ownership and dated. It's stamped. I don't know if you can see that right there. This is number. Can we get that on there? Yeah, that's number 58 of 210. 58 of 210. So there's 210 of these made. This is gray titanium. They make some with inlays that are really nice. And if gray titanium is not for you, I like this personally. Some people like the inlays. There's some fantastic inlays, really beautiful. It has some extra accents that might be nice. To me, this was enough accents for me. That's about as crazy as I'm going to go. Um, Got a little lint there from my ripped jeans. I have a jeans that have a rip where I keep my pocket. That's thanks to my old Chris Reeve Unums on that I had before I sold it. It ripped up several pairs of my jeans because that thing is just a shredder. But anyways, I like to use my knives. I collect knives, but I use them. So every knife I have in my collection I use. And this is no exception, even though it's a limited edition. I do enjoy that. As I noted, this is titanium. It's fire anodized. Beautiful fire anodization. And I don't know if we can see it in here, but let me deploy it first. So here's the blade. This is CPM S20 CV, CPM 20CV. Sorry, CPM 20CV steel. I don't know what I was thinking there, but this is hand rub satin finish. Or hand rub satin finish. Beautiful finish on this blade. I love it. It's very smooth. Rounded and chamfered on the top. It's got a nice little swedge up here that's well. It's got a folder in here that's really great for deployment, reverse deployment and actuation of your knife. It's a frame lock, as you can see, with a steel insert and an over travel stop that's right in there. I don't know if we can get a little light on that, but there's an over travel stop in there. Can we focus in on that? Yeah, there we go. Now you can see it. Over travel stop. If you notice this deep milled pocket clip, it is milled, and you can see that right here. It's definitely milled, and it's milled all the way in the front right here as well. Just a beautiful design with cutout like that. Gorgeous. Now the screws are hidden. They're inside here, and you can probably see that. But you also notice that this fire ionization is on the inside. It's the whole titanium backspacer. Really gorgeous. And the action on this thing is phenomenal. Beautiful drop shot right out of the gate, and just drops really nicely. The fuller works perfectly for reverse actuation. I can do it left-handed. Oops, like that. It's a little hard up here. I have noticed that I have to kind of get up a little higher and see here, get up here like that to reverse flick it. I don't typically reverse flick left-handed, but it definitely works, and it's just really a pleasure to deploy. The edge is super thin and slicey all the way down. It's definitely a flat grind all the way down, but super slicey and wonderful. Just really cuts just excellently. And you can easily hone it up on a leather strap, and I've gotten this insanely sharp where I can kind of whittle a hair. So that's always fun. And it locks up really well, about 30%, 40%. You can see that. So solid, no blade rock whatsoever. Very solid. Like I said, the action is wonderful. The detent, everything works really great, and you can see that when it comes down to the detent. Locks right in nicely. The flipper tab right here has just enough jimping, works really well. You can come over and you can do the push button, that works really well, or you can do the light. Well, you can do the light switch, but you got to be quick about it. I think push button really, to me, works the best. It's really set up for a push button because the curve right there and you push down, you can do that. Now, I had my finger right on the blade here when I did that. My finger was touching the blade, so when I did that, it kind of slowed it down. So make sure you're clear, put your hands on the finger, and it deploys beautifully every time. I have no issues with that. Again, this is fantastic. This is one of their limited editions. Everything about this is done well. It's chamfered all around the edges, got contoured. You can see that there's a contour on here on the handle, so it's even a little curved, and everything, when you grip this, is beautiful. And it also has a finger choil, and it's a true finger choil. You can really choke up on this and cut with this. You're going to clear that little blade area there. You're not going to be close. You can really lock down. Now, there's no jimping up here, but that's fine. This is really kind of more of an executive kind of business-like knife, and so it's really nice, but you can still work with it really well. And I remember the Wii guys said that hoping somebody would have one of these and carry it and use it. And I'll be that guy. I'll be a user because I like to use my knives, and this one's definitely going to be that. Everything about this knife I really enjoy. Oh, by the way, T8, 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 all T8 screws. No hardware on this side. I really like that. That's really cool. Blade is just nicely centered. I have had no issues with it. So beautifully centered, state centered and everything. I'm assuming, I can't really see. Can we get some light on there? Yeah, I actually, looking at those screws, I know one reviewer thought they were T6s, but I think they're T8s. They look a little larger than the smaller ones, so could be T8s. I haven't taken it apart to check, but very cool if it is. This anodization is really nice. The lanyard hole is kind of hidden, so if you like a lanyard hole, there you go. But it's nice and rounded, so it's not digging in. One of those the giant mouse ace lines, they always have a hard lanyard hole with a sharp edge, and every time I've gripped one, I had to return one because it just dug into my hand, and it was not comfortable. I don't like that, so I avoid knives with a sharp lanyard edge like that. It's got to be contoured. And by the way, this is nice and round. It goes in and out of the pocket really, really well. The clip works fantastic. Everything about this blade is it's really great. I've enjoyed it. Some people think it's overpriced. I don't. Of course, I got the one without the PVD coating that made sure that probably my Rockwell hardness is going to be at least 60 or 61. I'm thinking it's 61 because I got to tell you, the edge is held up really well. It must be, maybe I got one on the higher one. I don't have any hardness testing, but usually, you can tell by how well the edge holds up and how well it retains the edge and if it's a little, it takes a little while, maybe a little bit longer to sharpen those that are not as soft. So definitely that case in this one. So I'm hoping that's the case for me. So anyways, let's go ahead and do some measurements on this knife. Find out what the weight is. All right. So 4.19 ounces. So 4.19 ounces is the weight on this one. And that's probably also because you can see, it could be a lot heavier, but you can definitely see there's a lot of hollowing out, milling out of the inside of the titanium scale. I'm sure the ones with the inserts are much lighter, but 4.18 is not terrible. Let's go ahead and do a measurement. It's not going to be perfect ratios, but it's pretty close, and it feels really solid. So to me, it's nice. Overall length of this knife is about 8¼ inches. From the blade to the handle, it's going to be about just over 3.5. So I want to say 3 and maybe 9/16, maybe 9/16. Yeah, maybe 9/16 of an inch or something like that. The cutting edge, from the edge to the cutting, is going to be just around 3 and I want to say 3.5, but it'll be maybe if we did eighths, I would say 3/8, maybe 3 3/8. It's definitely over 3.25, so maybe 3 7/8, just under 3.5, right? The whole handle where you can grip is 4 inches, maybe 4¼ inches from here to here. You can choke up, but if you choke up to the finger choil, you have over 5 inches. And that is a very usable finger choil for large hands, even extra large, but probably even double extra large hands, because I can definitely get my hand in there. Clear it, no issues getting close to that cutting edge there, so that's really nice. Really have enjoyed that. All right, let's see how thick is that blade. Blade doesn't feel like it was that thick, but let's just double check. So 0.124, so 0.125 inches, 125th of an inch. So it's not super thin, but it's not super thick. But man, it comes down to a very, very thin edge down here. This is very thin cutting edge. And I don't measure this stuff down here because I don't really know exactly how to measure it and do it consistently. But to me, I can tell you when I feel the edge is very thin and my hands come really close together like that, I know it's a very thin, slicey edge. I know that everything I've sliced with it has been like cutting through butter, so it's really nice. I've enjoyed that a lot. All right, so what else? I've enjoyed again, it's frame lock, works really well, locks up solidly. The clip is just fantastic. The aesthetic on this is beautiful. Everything, the contour, the shape, the grip and the handle, for me, is just beautiful. Oh, this is a brass Wii pivot as well, so that's a nice little touch. I have another Wii limited edition that has a brass pivot and brass hardware, but brass hardware wouldn't make sense on this. And I've noticed this is also titanium. These must be titanium screws. I'm pretty sure because they look like they are sandblasted, just like the titanium handle and scales. They match up with the scale. That's really nice. What else? The thing about hand rub satin finishes is that you can get scratches on there. And I think I have a micro scratch. You might be able to see it right there. I don't know if you can see that. It's super fine right there. But you know what? That's going to happen when you use this. And you just kind of either collect it and don't use it, or you use it and just expect it, right? You can rub it out a little bit, but it's hand rub satin, so it's going to happen. This is going to reflect more and show up stuff more, unless you got a stone washed or something. That's just a reality. But really, really nice. Love this knife. All things about it. Definitely going to be my most recommended and a high nicer knife, high-end knife recommendations. All right, so let's take a quick look up here on this. Get a nice close look on the handle. We'll look the anodization back here so you can see all that. Right. Look at the deep mill pocket carry clip. Can we get a nice focus on that? And then the pivot. Nice. And then we'll look at the blade here. You can see how it's nice and chamfered. You can even see the inside there. Can we get the light on there? Yeah, you can definitely get the light back there. Let's deploy it. Here's that beautiful blade hand rub satin finish. Look at the other side. Beautiful fuller. This works really nice. It's not super sharp, but it's not dull, so you get perfect traction. Works great with the finger and the nail. Both work really beautifully. You can see that edge. Just a long enough edge. I think it's probably going to be about 18 to 20 degrees, I think. It's definitely not a really short edge, but it's not a really long edge because that's a thin edge. That's why it's not. It looks like a short edge, but it's very thin down there. So to me, it works wonderfully. All right, now you can see the inside. I don't know if you can see that. Fire anodized. Can we get the light on there? There we go. All right, so that's the knife. Highly recommend it. Love it. Recommend it. Just over and over. If you can get a hold of one, get one. So that's really it for me. If you have any questions, any suggestions, any comments, feel free to leave them down below. I would love to hear from you, ideas for another review or future reviews, or just questions about this knives. Hey, if you like this video, would you consider hitting the like button? And then maybe if you like these videos, hit the subscribe button. And if you're a subscriber already, maybe hit the notification button so you can get future notifications of videos that I drop. And if you like this content, maybe check me out over on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. That's robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching today. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.